10 foods that will destroy your heart permanently. In 2019, cardiovascular disease was the leading cause of death globally, accounting for 33% of all deaths. It's shocking, but true. And what is most alarming is that the foods we consume on a regular basis are frequently the ones that may jeopardize our hearts. In this video, I'm going to reveal 10 foods that may destroy your heart permanently. You'll be surprised to learn how seemingly harmless choices may lead to clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and even heart failure. I'll also explain exactly how these foods impact your body and why they pose such a serious risk to your heart health. Before we start, remember, your heart is unique, so always consult a healthcare professional about your diet. Ready to learn these hidden dangers? Let's get started. 1. Processed meats. Processed meats are some of the biggest culprits when it comes to foods that harm your heart, and understanding why may be a real eye-opener. These are meats like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, and deli slices. They are convenient, flavorful, and often irresistible, but they are also dangerous to your heart. Processed meats are loaded with saturated fats. Saturated fats may raise your LDL, or bad cholesterol. High LDL levels are like a ticking time bomb for your arteries. They lead to fatty deposits that build up along the walls of your blood vessels, a condition known as atherosclerosis. As the arteries narrow and stiffen, your heart has to work harder to push blood through, increasing the risk of a heart attack. And then there are the nitrates and nitrites, chemical compounds used in the curing process to preserve color and flavor. While they help your bacon look pink and taste delicious, they don't do your body any favors. When consumed, these compounds may transform into nitrosamines, which are harmful substances linked to inflammation and oxidative stress. Inflammation is a silent attack that damages the lining of your blood vessels over time, making it easier for plaque to form and harden. This not only reduces blood flow, but also raises the risk of blood clots that could lead to a sudden heart attack or stroke. PubMed reports that processed red meat raises the risk of heart disease by 42% per 50 grams and diabetes by 51% per 50 grams. Unprocessed red meat has a smaller risk, increasing diabetes by 19% per 100 grams. Processed meat contains about 400% more sodium, which explains much of the added risk. Both types of meat are harmful to health, but reducing processed meat is especially important. 2. Fried foods. Fried foods are a beloved indulgence, but they come with a heavy price for your heart. From crispy chicken to golden French fries, these treats may seem harmless, but the truth is far more serious. When you frequently consume fried meals, it's easy to take in far more calories than your body needs. The excess energy is stored as fat, particularly around your abdomen, a type of fat known as visceral fat. This isn't just cosmetic. Visceral fat surrounds vital organs and releases inflammatory chemicals that strain your cardiovascular system. Over time, this inflammation increases your risk of developing heart disease and may contribute to conditions like high blood pressure and insulin resistance, further complicating heart health. Furthermore, fried foods contribute to heart damage through the formation of advanced glycation end products during cooking. Ages are harmful compounds created when proteins and fats are exposed to high heat, like in frying. Once inside your body, these compounds trigger oxidative stress, which damages cells and tissues, including the lining of your blood vessels, significantly raising your risk of cardiovascular events. According to PubMed, eating trans fats at 4% or more of your daily calories may raise LDL cholesterol, and at 5 to 6% they lower HDL cholesterol. This imbalance increases the risk of heart problems. 3. Sugary beverages. From sodas to sweetened teas and energy drinks, these sugary options deliver far more than just a burst of flavor. They set off a chain reaction in your body that may lead to long-term damage. Sugary beverages flood your bloodstream with excessive amounts of simple sugars, particularly fructose. Unlike glucose, which is used by your body for energy, fructose is processed almost entirely by the liver. When you consume high amounts, your liver gets overwhelmed and begins converting the excess sugar into fat. Over time, this contributes to a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The liver's inefficiency spills these fats into your bloodstream, raising triglyceride levels. Elevated triglycerides create a domino effect, increasing your risk of clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and cardiovascular complications. Another major issue is how sugary drinks contribute to chronic insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes. With every sip of a sugary beverage, your blood sugar spikes, prompting your pancreas to release insulin to bring those levels down. But when this happens repeatedly, your body starts becoming less sensitive to insulin's effects, forcing your pancreas to work harder and harder. This puts an enormous strain on your metabolic system, leading to consistently high blood sugar levels. Over time, these elevated levels damage blood vessels, making them more prone to inflammation and narrowing. A Harvard study found that drinking one sugary beverage daily increases the risk of cardiovascular disease by about 18%, regardless of exercise levels. Even individuals who met the recommendation of 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week had a 21% higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease if they drank 2 or more sugary drinks daily. The research also showed that high levels of physical activity could not completely offset the risks of consuming sugary beverages. 4. White bread and pastries. One major issue with white bread and pastries is how quickly they're digested, thanks to their high glycemic index. When you eat them, your blood sugar spikes rapidly because refined flour is stripped of fiber and nutrients. These sudden sugar surges force your pancreas to produce large amounts of insulin to bring blood sugar levels down. Over time, this constant roller coaster of sugar highs and crashes may lead to insulin resistance, a condition where your body stops responding properly to insulin. Insulin resistance doesn't just raise your risk of type 2 diabetes, it also damages the lining of your blood vessels, making them more susceptible to inflammation and plaque buildup. This damage creates the perfect environment for heart disease to develop. Another problem lies in the low nutrient density of these foods. White bread and pastries are essentially empty calories. They provide energy without the vitamins, minerals, and fiber your body needs to function properly. This not only encourages overeating but also disrupts your lipid profile. The result is increased strain on your heart as it works harder to pump blood through clogged or stiffened vessels. A PubMed study of 399 participants undergoing coronary angiography found that eating more than one serving of white bread daily significantly increased the risk of cardiovascular disease. In contrast, consuming more than one serving of whole grain bread daily reduced the risk by about 53%. 5. High-sodium snacks. High-sodium snacks like potato chips, pretzels, and salted nuts are more than just addictive. The first issue with high-sodium snacks is how they contribute to elevated blood pressure. Sodium makes your body retain water to balance the salt in your bloodstream, which increases the volume of blood circulating through your blood vessels. This extra blood volume forces your heart to pump harder, putting additional strain on the walls of your arteries. Over time, this constant pressure may lead to stiffened arteries, a condition known as hypertension. Hypertension is often called the silent killer because it may go unnoticed for years, all while damaging your heart and increasing your risk of heart attacks and strokes. Another danger lies in how sodium impacts the delicate balance of minerals in your body, particularly potassium depletion. Potassium is essential for relaxing blood vessels and balancing out the effects of sodium, but when you consume high-sodium foods, the imbalance may become overwhelming. Without enough potassium, your blood vessels can't relax properly, leading to increased vascular resistance. This makes it even harder for your heart to circulate blood efficiently, creating a vicious cycle of strain and pressure that weakens your cardiovascular system over time. According to nutrients, high sodium intake increases the risk of cardiovascular disease by 19% compared to low sodium intake. A linear relationship was found, where every additional 1 gram of dietary sodium raises the risk of cardiovascular disease by 6%. 6. Margarine and shortening. Margarine and shortening may seem like pantry staples, especially for baking or cooking, but they carry hidden dangers that may harm your heart in ways you might not realize. One of the most significant issues with margarine and shortening is the high level of omega-6 fatty acids. It is often found in the vegetable oils used to make these products. While omega-6 fats aren't inherently bad, an excessive intake may throw off the balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fats in your body. This imbalance triggers inflammation, which is a key contributor to many chronic conditions, including heart disease. A PubMed study of 832 men found that margarine intake, a key source of trans fats, was modestly linked to increased risk of coronary heart disease over 21 years. For every additional teaspoon of margarine consumed daily, the risk of coronary heart disease rose by 10%. 7. Full-fat dairy products. Full-fat dairy products like whole milk, cream, butter, and certain cheeses might feel like rich and comforting staples in your diet, but they come with risks that directly affect your heart health. Because these foods are energy-rich and often consumed in large quantities, they may lead to unintended weight gain if you're not careful. Excess weight, particularly around the abdomen, is linked to increased visceral fat, a dangerous type of fat that wraps around vital organs and releases harmful inflammatory molecules. This chronic inflammation not only damages blood vessels but also increases blood pressure and makes your heart work harder than it should. The combination of weight gain and inflammation creates a dangerous cycle that slowly chips away at your cardiovascular health. A PubMed study lasted 14 weeks and included 47 healthy adults. For 2 5-week periods, participants replaced 5% of their daily calories with either butter or olive oil. Butter increased total and LDL cholesterol more than olive oil or their usual diet, but it also raised HDL cholesterol compared to their usual diet. Butter had more saturated fat, which contributed to the higher cholesterol. The study recommends that people with high cholesterol should limit butter, but moderate butter intake might be fine for others. 8. Sugary desserts. When you eat foods high in refined sugar, your body rapidly absorbs the glucose, causing a sudden surge in blood sugar. This triggers your pancreas to release a large amount of insulin to bring those levels back down. Over time, repeated spikes and crashes may lead to insulin resistance, where your cells no longer respond effectively to insulin. This condition not only increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, but also promotes inflammation and damages the lining of your blood vessels. Damaged blood vessels are less able to function properly, making it easier for plaque to build up and restrict blood flow to the heart. Another insidious effect of sugary desserts is their role in increasing visceral fat, the harmful fat that accumulates around your internal organs. The more visceral fat you accumulate, the higher your risk of developing serious cardiovascular conditions. Desserts loaded with sugar and empty calories are one of the fastest ways to add to this dangerous fat storage. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that consuming a high-sugar diet significantly increases the risk of dying from heart disease, even in people who are not overweight. Over 15 years, participants who consumed 25% or more of their daily calories from added sugar were more than twice as likely to die from heart disease compared to those consuming less than 10%. The risk rose steadily with higher sugar intake, regardless of age, sex, physical activity, or body weight. 9. Fast foods. Whether it's in burgers, fries, or fried chicken, the salt levels in these foods are staggeringly high. Sodium causes your body to retain water, which increases the volume of blood your heart has to pump. Over time, this elevated blood volume puts constant pressure on your blood vessels, leading to high blood pressure. High blood pressure, or hypertension, doesn't just strain your heart, it also weakens and damages the walls of your arteries, making them more prone to narrowing and plaque buildup. The result is a heightened risk of heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. The Iranian Journal of Public Health found that among 201 students, 44% of Jordanian university students had high BMI and 37% had high cholesterol. Eating shawarma over 3 times a week increased cholesterol risk 8 times, while obesity raised it 14 times. Male students were twice as likely as females to have high cholesterol. The study urges healthier diets to prevent these issues. 10. Alcohol excessive consumption. Alcohol interferes with the electrical signals in your heart, causing it to beat erratically. Over time, these irregular rhythms may weaken your heart's efficiency in pumping blood. Blood pooling in the heart increases the risk of blood clots, which may travel to vital organs like the brain, leading to a stroke. The more frequently you indulge in heavy drinking, the more likely your heart is to develop this dangerous rhythm disturbance. Alcohol also has a direct impact on the heart muscle itself, leading to alcoholic cardiomyopathy. In this condition, prolonged excessive drinking weakens and stretches the heart muscle, making it harder for your heart to pump blood effectively. This reduced pumping efficiency causes blood to back up in the lungs and other parts of the body, leading to symptoms like shortness of breath, swelling, and fatigue. Over time, this weakens the entire cardiovascular system and may result in heart failure. According to the NIH, a study using data from over 6,000 participants in the multi-ethnic study of atherosclerosis found that heavy alcohol consumption significantly increases fat deposits around organs like the heart, liver, and intestines, known as ectopic fat. This type of fat contributes to higher cardiovascular risk. In contrast, light to moderate drinking was associated with the lowest levels of ectopic fat. The findings highlight the dangers of excessive alcohol intake for heart and overall health. Moving on, let's discuss the 5 foods that actually protect your heart. After talking about all the foods that may harm your heart, let's focus on the good stuff. There are some amazing foods that work like natural shields for your heart, keeping it healthy and strong. Let me share 5 heart protective foods that you may start adding to your meals today. 1. Salmon. Packed with omega-3 fatty acids, salmon helps reduce inflammation and lower triglycerides, 2 key factors in maintaining heart health. These healthy fats also stabilize your heart's rhythm, reducing the risk of arrhythmias. Regularly including salmon in your diet improves blood flow and prevents plaque buildup in arteries, ensuring your heart stays strong and supported. 2. Avocados. Avocados are a powerhouse of heart-friendly monounsaturated fats, which help lower LDL cholesterol while increasing HDL cholesterol. They're also rich in potassium, a mineral that helps regulate blood pressure. By reducing bad cholesterol and supporting healthy blood pressure levels, avocados provide your heart with the nutrients it needs to thrive. 3. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that protect your heart. These greens are especially rich in nitrates, which improve blood vessel flexibility and lower blood pressure. Their fiber content helps keep cholesterol levels in check, making leafy greens a must-have for a heart-healthy diet. 4. Nuts, especially walnuts. Walnuts are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, and healthy fats that help reduce inflammation and improve cholesterol profiles. Eating a handful of nuts daily has been linked to lower rates of heart disease and better artery health. Their antioxidants also help combat oxidative stress, protecting your heart from long-term damage. 5. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are full of antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, which fight inflammation and reduce oxidative stress. These compounds improve the flexibility of arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Berries are also low in calories and high in fiber, making them a sweet and satisfying way to take care of your heart. From processed meats to sugary treats, it's clear how the foods we eat may make or break our heart health. But don't worry, this isn't about cutting everything out all at once. It's about making smarter choices, one step at a time, to give your heart the love and care it deserves. Remember, your heart works tirelessly for you every single day. Isn't it time we gave it a little help? Start by swapping out just 1 or 2 of these harmful foods for heart-healthy options and you'll already be making a big difference. If you found this helpful, don't stop here. Keep learning, keep improving, and most importantly, listen to your body. And as I always say, if you're ever unsure about your diet or health, consult a healthcare professional. Now that we have discussed the many foods that may destroy your heart permanently, let's dive into other topics of interest. Let's keep the conversation going with a couple more diet-related videos, shall we? Watch what happens to your body when you eat blueberries daily. You may also try our video on 10 healthiest breakfast foods you should be eating every day. Go ahead, click one. Or better yet, watch both and learn more about nutrition. Will you be avoiding these foods from now on? Let us know in the comments below.